What's up, everybody? My name is Amy, and this is the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. My name is Amy. Welcome to my show. I hope everyone is having a wonderful summer's day. It is hot again here in Arkansas. We had a little bit of rain come through, cooled it down for about a hot minute, and that's all she wrote. I've been spending a lot of time outside and floating on my raft and whatnot. And other than that, I have been working on some stuff. I am planning a trip to Tennessee. I am planning on attending Summer's Day on June 15th, 2023 in Kingsport at the Warriors Path State Park. There is an event called Summer's Day that is being hosted by Dolly Vision to honor and remember Summer Wells on the day that she went missing on June 15th. I hope everything goes well. I have, some reservations about things. There are some other YouTubers that are going to be hosting an event. And unfortunately, there are YouTubers that I'm not familiar with. I don't watch their channels. I do watch Dolly Vision's channel, but I don't watch these people's channel. So, I don't know them. I don't know what kind of people they are. Hopefully they will be friendly and welcoming. There's just always some kind of drama here in the YouTube community, and I don't understand it. I'm certainly not here to compete with anybody or whatnot, but unfortunately it just seems like YouTube and the true crime community is it's nothing but a competition, and everyone trashing each other and trying to, compete for viewers and compete with, and things like that. And these drama channels have their particular people that they don't like. Dolly is one of them. Bullhorn Betty, Molly Golightly, and it's just silly that these people devote every day of their life to spreading hate against these people. You know, they're certainly not getting out there and doing anything to do anything about these cases or bring awareness or uh, ask for justice or anything like that. And you know, so I just don't know why they bother. Hello on the sidelines. How are you doing today? Well, thank you so much. Yes, I am making some things for Summer's Day that I'm going to be giving away. And one of those things is I have a box of stones, just small stones that I have painted on each one of them, whether it's Summer's initials or Summer's name, or some of them I've painted moon on, Utah, you know, painted little hearts on them. And what they are is I'm going to be, you know, just giving those away to people. And the same way that you would throw a penny in the wishing well and make a wish, what what I call these are wishing stones, and I hope that I want to give them to people to throw in the pond where Summer went swimming there at Warriors Path on June 15th, the day that she went missing, and you know, just toss those stones in there and make a wish for Summer to come home. Uh, you know, make a wish that we find her, make a wish that we find her alive, make a wish that you know, whoever hurt Summer or took her, or you know, whatever the situation is, we just want to find Summer. We want to and prosecute whoever hurt her. um as far as you know, attending Summer's Day, Candace and Dawn are aware of the events that are going on. They have been invited. Um, Dolly Vision is on, you know, pretty good terms with Dawn and Candace, and I think the other YouTubers that are having an event, they're on good terms with Dawn and Candace. But of course, Dawn and Candace are concerned about, you know, people coming there with ill intentions towards them, which, you know, I totally understand. But this is a day to honor Summer and to remember Summer. This is not a day to lash out at Dawn and Candace. This is not a day to come bringing your drama towards any creator that you don't like. This is a day to honor Summer Moon Utah Wells, and that is it. There is a time and place for other stuff. Summer is Dawn and Candace's daughter, and this is not the day to come and be ugly toward them if they do come to these events. Um, and it's not the day to come in and start your drama with YouTube creators that you don't like. You know, I just hope that everything goes off without a hitch, and we just have a good time in remembering and honoring Summer. Because if you're coming for any other reason than to honor Summer Moon Utah Wells, you're coming for the wrong reasons. I am making one of my wreaths. For those of you that don't know, I make beautiful deco mesh wreaths. Um, and I am making one for Summer that I intend to try and give to Dawn and Candace. Um, you know, it just, like I said, it just depends on, you know, what happens that day, how the situation goes, and whatnot. I'm also, I've decorated some electric candles that I am going to give away to incorporate back into. Dolly is planning a candlelight visual that evening on Ben Hill Road. Like I said, if everything goes according to plan and no problems arise, we're going to have a candlelight visual that evening on Ben Hill Road. So I've decorated some little electric candles that I'm going to give away, and also some other stuff that I intend to take and place as a memorial to Summer there at Warriors Path at the Horse Pond. So like I said, I just hope that everything goes off without a hitch, and that everybody who comes is kind and thoughtful. And I'm also a little concerned about getting the cold shoulder, and people, like I said, just being friendly. Um, this situation here on YouTube, uh, you, it's just a big competition, and I have made attempts to befriend people here on YouTube, and for whatever reason, I feel like people want you to support them and support their channel and all this kind of stuff, but they don't always want to give you the same support in return or the same respect in return, and that is something that bothers me. Like I said, I don't know why everyone has to make this such a big competition, and then you have all these people that they want to, or they act like they're your friend or whatever, and then they just turn around and stab you in the back. And I tell you what, I am done trying to figure people out. um, whether it's people here on YouTube or just people in the general public. I'm just done trying to figure people out and what their problem is. Like I said, I am not here to compete with people. It's kind of funny. I was true crime when true crime wasn't cool. Okay. I've been involved in true crime for 30 years now, long before there was ever social media, long before there was a YouTube. I've been working, doing things to advocate for victims, advocate for cases, begging the state of Arkansas for justice and stuff like that. This ain't my first rodeo. I've been doing this a long time, but it seems like this new generation, for some reason, it's they make it some kind of big competition. I unfortunately found that out several years ago, with a group of people on Facebook, and I don't get it. I really don't, but whatever. To each their own. So if you if you live near Tennessee, if you want to make the drive to Kingsport, there will be some events being held all day long there at Warriors State Park. You can visit Dolly Vision's community page for the details. I believe it is Pavilion number 3 that Dolly it will be set up, and Paper Cut Tina is supposed to be there. Like I said, I'm going. I've heard Bullhorn Betty's going, and I don't know who all else, but please, come and join us. Dolly's going to be cooking hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff on the grill, and I think I'm going to make a big pan of baked beans, and so just come and join the fun, and socializing and gathering, and doing these things to honor Summer Wells and remember her, because that's what this is all about. It's not about me. It's not about Don and Candace. It's not about Dolly or Betty or any other YouTube creator out there. This is about Summer Moon Utah Wells. And I love that little girl. So many of us have come to love that little girl so much. and we just want her found, and we just want whoever hurt her to be prosecuted to the fullest extent. So I I want to talk today about career criminals, and at what point does has someone done their time? At what point does someone deserve a second chance, or maybe even a third or fourth chance? What time? At what point do we forgive and forget people who have committed some of the most heinous crimes? If you're not aware, Leslie Van Houten of the Manson family, she was one of the Manson followers. She was there and present and helped assist in the murder of the LaBiancas, uh, uh, Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. I don't even need to repeat the details of what was done to the LaBianca family, but it was horrendous. It was horrific. Anybody that I don't care if you've been living under a rock. I don't care if you were born yesterday. Everyone knows about the Manson family murders. Also, the murder of Sharon Tate, actress Sharon Tate, socialite Abigail Folger, Sharon's hairdresser Jay Sebring was murdered in this killing spree. And, the Manson family, back when they were convicted, a lot of them got the death penalty. Even Charlie got the death penalty. But in California, after they were all convicted, in California overturned the death penalty. And so all of their sentences were commuted to life, with the possibility of parole. Now, when you get a life sentence, it doesn't always mean that you are eligible for parole. For instance, here in Arkansas, it doesn't matter if you receive a life sentence or a life without parole sentence. They're the same thing. There's an old saying here in Arkansas, down on the farm, where life means life. There is no parole here in Arkansas, whether you receive a life sentence or a life without parole sentence. The Manson family, all of their sentences were reduced to life with the possibility of parole, and many of them have come up for parole, many times. Charlie, finally died, but he was never, ever granted parole. Several of the other family members have come up for parole. Some of them have died in prison. Susan Atkins died. She was she was something else. But anyway, Leslie Van Houten is up for parole. She Governor Gavin Newsom of California. He actually he denied her parole this last time, and she appealed it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has overturned Governor Gavin Newsom's rejection of her parole. They voted 2-1 to overturn his rejection, and so there is a very good possibility that she could finally get out on parole. Does she deserve parole? This woman has been in prison for 50 years. And I don't know how much y'all know about the prison system, but if you've ever watched The Shawshank Redemption, you heard Red and them talk about being institutionalized. You know, when you've lived that many years locked up in prison behind bars, um, yeah, you're institutionalized. You know, you have to think about how much the world has changed since 1971. Hell, I was a year old when all this happened. I'm 53 years old now. That's a long time, and a lot has changed. You know, even understanding how to operate a cell phone, uh, to set up a Facebook account, an email address. Those are unfortunately things that we have to learn now. And like I said, at what point has someone, quote, done their time or paid their debt to society? And at what point do we say, okay, you've you've served your time for your crime, you've paid your debt to society, and it's time to let you go. Um, it's a justice. Is a weird thing. I've talked about that, and how justice is different for everyone. Um, I do know, Sharon Tate's sister has always been there to speak at any of the parole hearings that have gone on, uh, and speak out against any of the Manson family getting out of prison, for the murder of her sister and friends. And right now, because Leslie Van Houten was involved in the killing of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca, the LaBianca family is terribly upset right now, and they reached out to her, and so she is kind of speaking on behalf of the LaBianca family, in the hopes that somehow Leslie Van Houten, won't get out of prison. But she, you know, now that she has appealed it to the Supreme Court and they overturned Governor Newsom's, rejection, there's a good possibility that she's going to get out. I have no idea what she's got to have a parole plan. She's got to have a a place to live, and I'm sure she'll probably be on some type of a watch or whatever, and she'll have to report to a parole officer and things like that. But I don't know anything about Leslie Van Houten other than the crime that she committed, and so what are her plans and where's she going to go and what's she going to do when and if she does get out of prison. That's a long road ahead. But like I said, at what point do we say, okay, we feel as though you have done your time and that you are rehabilitated? That's the biggest issue, is how do we know and when do we know that someone is rehabilitated? That they deserve a second chance, that they, you know, is Leslie Van Houten, is she remorseful for what she did? Many of the Manson families have done interviews over the years and things like that, and they've talked about how the spell that they were under, regarding Charlie Manson, and how he, used drugs to manipulate them. There were some of them that had babies, and things like that. Were just used to manipulate them, and you know, you start doing drugs, and especially LSD and stuff like that, and tripping on acid and whatnot. You're likely to be brainwashed and talked into doing anything. But the LaBianca murders were so heinous and so uncalled for. And you know I have no doubt in my mind that Charlie did instruct these people to go and kill these people. I've studied so much about the Manson family over the years and the crimes that they committed, and Helter Skelter, and I trying to understand Helter Skelter, and understand what Charlie was preaching to these people about. And but the truth is that I believe he used this whole Helter Skelter manipulation uh, to seek his own revenge. Because when they went to the Tate uh, house, Roman Polanski's house, and killed Sharon Tate and Abigail Folger, Jay Sebring, and all them, um, they went there because they had no idea that that someone new was living in that home. And if you know anything about the history with the Charlie Manson and the family, and Dennis Wilson and the Beach Boys and all that, he sent them to Cielo Drive with a specific purpose in mind. That specific house for a reason. Same thing with the LaBianca house. This was not just a random house they hit. They were supposed to go to someone else's house, and the name won't come to my mind right now, but I've actually talked about this before. I did a video about Charlie Manson's music because I'm just one of those weirdos, and a hippie that just loves the music from the 60s, and I actually like Charlie's music. Yeah. But anyway, the LaBianca house was uh they actually went to the wrong house. They were supposed to have gone to the house next door. Like I said, talking murder and drugs, and everybody's fucked up, and you know, but the crime they committed was horrific. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Leslie Van Houten deserves parole after 50 years of being incarcerated for the murder of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca? Um, it looks as though she just might get it. The the next person I want to talk about is Adam Montgomery. Adam Montgomery is a career criminal. Is what we consider a career criminal. And right now, Adam Montgomery, who is the father of the little girl missing, now presumed murdered, Harmony Montgomery. Adam, got straight for a while. He got off drugs. He went to court. He fought for custody of Harmony, and got it. And unfortunately, like, so many addicts do, he got back into a life of drugs and a life of crime, along with his wife, Kayla. And, one thing led to another. They were evicted from their home. They were living in their car. And we have no idea where little Harmony Montgomery is and what happened to her. But she has been is presumed that she was murdered, and Adam Montgomery has been charged with killing little Harmony Montgomery. But right now, Adam is on trial in New Hampshire for stealing some guns. And his trial is going on right now. I've been, watching it some in between, doing my everyday things that I've got going on. Um, Ayla has gotten on the stand and testified, and I gotta say, watching her testimony has been heartbreaking. She looks nothing like what she did in her mugshot. She, I swear, she looked like she was 80 years old in her mugshot. Um, you know, what drugs do to people, and you know she looked horrible. And I see her on the stand now, and it's like she literally looks like she drank a cup of fountain of youth or something. She looks normal. She actually looks her age again. um her face is filled out. She looks healthy, at a healthy weight. She I think Kayla's a very pretty girl, and many of us know what it's like to get involved with a bad dude. I've unfortunately had my fair share of bad dudes. I've had my fair share of Adam Montgomerys, you know, back in the day. So we've all, gotten involved, or, you know, been married to or whatever with a bad guy. But Kayla worked out a plea deal, um, but she is having to testify against Adam, and it it's sad because I see that she does love Adam, um, and she doesn't like being put in this situation, and it's just heartbreaking that Adam has put her in this situation. Um, but like I said, Adam is a career criminal, and at at one point, he got off the drugs, he straightened his life up, and he went to court and did everything he had to do to fight for custody of Harmony. And I think about CPS giving him custody of Harmony, and how CPS is, they're big on, trying to keep these children with their families and giving their parents second chances, third chances, Um, but with CPS, and here we go again, at what point has someone a done their time or paid their debt to society, and that we owe them a second chance? That society owes them a second chance. Should Adam Montgomery have ever been given custody of Harmony, considering that he was, even at that time, a felon? He was a career criminal. My daughter, her friend Abby, ended up going back to her family that she had been taken away from, and both of her parents were felons. Both of them were drug addicts, and her father, who was a piece of shit, complete piece of shit, ended up getting custody of Abby back. Um, like I said, lifelong addict, lifelong criminal, um, but if these people straighten their act up for a little while and go to court and fight for their kids or whatever, should we, let these children go back to these former addicted parents and former criminal parents? When you mix drugs and crime, um, you know, you either quit it and you're done with it and you never get in trouble again and you never touch drugs again, or you're a repeat offender. It's one or the two. There is no in between, in my opinion. I don't think. So, like I said, at what point do people deserve forgiveness and have paid their debts to society and deserve to be given a second chance? Unfortunately, this situation with Adam Montgomery, he, you know, I don't know at what point, but he, fell off the wagon, got back on drugs, and then, started a life of crime again, stole these guns and killed his daughter. So, hello, Phyllis. How are you? It's good to see you in here. So, now we've got a situation where we've got a missing little girl, presumed dead. We don't know where she is. And a career criminal for a father who's on trial right now, who's not only destroyed uh, Harmony, he's destroyed Kayla, his wife, he's destroyed their kids together. And, these kids are having to live without their mother. Their mother's in prison. This guy's just destroyed a whole hell of a lot of lives. And, maybe if CPS had not ever given him Harmony back in the first place, none of this would have happened. Forgiveness is a tough thing. And believe me, there's people in this world that I have tried to forgive myself that have hurt me immensely. And I, I don't know it. Forgiving and forgetting. Forgetting is what's hard. And when you can't forget something, but yet you say you forgive that person, but you can't forget what they did, are you really actually even forgiving them in the first place? It's like I said, it's a tough thing, to forgive people and especially forget. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on, you know, people deserving a second chance, people deserving, parole? What are your thoughts on people who have committed such heinous crimes or been a literal career criminal? At what point do these people deserve a second chance? Do they deserve parole? Do they deserve forgiveness? Do they deserve custody of their child? Um, what are your thoughts? Does anyone have any questions that are here in the live chat? Do any of you have any questions you want to ask, or anything you might want to mention or talk about? I'll give y'all a second to respond. Well, if no one has any questions, then I guess that's really about all I have for today. The trial for Adam Montgomery is going on this week, as I said, and you can watch the live coverage of it on Court TV. That's where I'm watching it. Um, and like I said, I found it heartbreaking to watch Kayla Montgomery on stand. Like I said, you can tell she loves Adam. Um, she hates what has happened, and it's just a sad situation, you know. Um, we get involved with the wrong guys, ladies, and sometimes we pay for it the rest of our lives. Um, I'm not in prison, so to speak. You know, for getting involved in with the wrong guys. However, I do feel like I'm sort of in uh, a prison of my own because you know those guys that I got involved with. It seems like somehow, some way, they still have an effect on me and my daily life and the mistakes that I made when I was with them. You know, it's just it's just a sad and unfortunate ordeal, and especially when you lose your kids over it. You know, I know a little something about that. You can lose your kids without losing actual custody of your kids, and I'll leave it at that. But anyway, that's all I have for today. Like I said, I hope that people will come out to Warriors Park for Summer's Day on June 15th, 2023. They're in Kingsport at Warriors Paths Park, and have a hamburger with us, and you know, come and be on your best behavior and come and celebrate and honor Summer Moon Utah Wells, who went missing on June 15th, 2021. And let's just honor this little girl and celebrate her little life and wish with every breath that we have for this little girl to come home, to be found, and for the people that hurt her to be prosecuted. And with that in mind, I'm going to close out. And our motto here at the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast is when you go out into this world every day, you be the change that you wish to see in this world. As Michael Jackson said, it starts with the man in the mirror. Peace out, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
What's happening, y'all? If you're looking for a sad true crime podcast, then get up off of that thing and boogie on over to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast, where we give you the lowdown on all things true crime. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Catch you on the flip side.